I would request item E be removed.
And item E. Anything else?
Move approval of consent agenda with the exception of items E and G.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Let's do them in alphabetical order, as we usually do. E. Mr. Burry, will somebody read that down for us?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Item E is a request from the Hickory Downtown Development Association for use of Union Square for the Hickory Alive event. The dates are June 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and July 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th. The event takes place from 5 in the evening until 12:30 in the morning. I believe, I'm not sure how many years this has been going on this one.
And I pulled that, because after all these years, I struggle as a council person, and as the representative for the downtown area, that we have an event that is so focused around alcohol. That's our public square, and I realize that draws people to downtown, but I think in the future, we need to look at events that draw families. There are all sorts of musical events that might be a little bit more wholesome where alcohol is not allowed.
I'd just like to say that I concur with Ms. Fox completely, 100% on that. That I'm not, I mean, personally, I think that's somebody's business if they decide to do that. But I think that annually, and not just that particular event, but I think that any event that we publicly endorse and are in favor of, I think that we need to take that into consideration.
I wonder if we could, I had to admit that I have not been to Hickory Alive in years. And I wonder if we could maybe use this year as a monitoring to see, I mean, if we have any, problems or, or how many people come, or if we, any calls, for action or, what.
Well,
I think the cost associated with the numbers and leads and all this, that we are supporting this with our staff, and I don't know that this is something that we necessarily want to continue.
not necessarily the event, you're talking about the alcohol. I mean, that's my
the problems that are
perspective.
associated with it, yes, and the cleanup and everything that occurs afterwards, and the problems that.
I'm not at all against the event
No.
per se. I think the event's great, but I'll have to say that personally, I think that it's wrong for us to, I don't want to say it's wrong for us, but I personally feel like that we should not have alcohol.
Why don't we could even think about doing the first Friday of the month as alcohol, and the other three are.
That just hadn't come up with me yet, that's why.
I brought this up merely as a point of consideration for future events.
Yeah.
Anytime you have an event from 5 to 12:30 that revolves around drinking, I just think that we, as a community, need to be aware of better events for our front porch. That's just the bottom
I'm
line.
gonna show my ignorance. Is there music?
Yes.
There's music, yes. So it's music and, I guess, music and dancing and partying and socializing. I mean, and this may seem obvious to everybody, but I guess I kind of hate, are the JCs still involved in this? Is this the JC's project?
Yeah, I think it's the application signed by the DDA.
DDA and not JC?
But I think the JCs are involved with the
I think
alcohol
alcohol, yes.
portion of it. And that's for nonprofit. I mean, that's going to a cause. I really like Councilman Meisner's idea that we look at it. I mean, we see what, if we get an alcohol-related incidents, if we are having situations that cause a problem, or, I see families up there too. I'm not to be, take exception to Ms. Fox. I definitely agree. There's alcohol's a big focus of it, but there's a lot of families up there, strollers, dogs, the whole deal. So,
Don't we have historical data that we can look at?
yeah.
I don't think it's as much, for me, at least, as the historical value and principle. It's more the principle, and it's more like she said about it, this is our front porch. And I think we endorsed that when we did it. And it's got nothing, again, I want to say this, it's not against the event itself. I think that in the future, any event that sponsors alcohol, I would personally have a hard time with that being on our front porch as Ms. Fox had so eloquently.
Well, I respect completely every council member's judgment, but again, we kind of weigh this against the fact that people say we don't have anything to do. This is something that we may disagree in some respects with, but it is an activity that a lot of people seem to enjoy.
Perhaps a lot more people would enjoy it. We don't know. If you didn't have alcohol, we might get a group of people that we've never seen before. That might be the other side of it. I know for a fact, people in the community have told me that because of that one factor, that they don't come. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that's not everyone, but I've heard that.
Well, I fully believe that you're exactly correct, that there are people who would not come because of the alcohol. There are other activities. I mean, we're trying to accommodate 40,000 people in some way with activities. Obviously, it seems like it's not reaching any of us at this table, but I'm not sure it's broke.
Well, I brought this up for this reason, because I wanted us to have a discussion, because there are ramifications that none of us may be seeing. I happen to have seen them. And I just brought it up because I think for years, we just put items in the consent agenda for Union Square and have little or no discussion. And that's why I brought it up. There's probably been a lot of work put into this for this year, and I have no problem with what Mr. Meisner suggested. But I brought it up because I think as a council, we need to have a discussion about events, exactly what kind of events we want to promote. And I don't know what the cost for service, I don't know how many police are involved in this, but just to look at the hours from 5 to 12:30 is a long time.
Is there food also?
Yeah, there's a couple of vendors there.
I mean, because I know that there was a recent event where maybe there wasn't any food at all for about 6 hours. This is what I heard, and I think, since we're discussing, we just discuss the whole aspect of it. There is an event where you pay a certain charge and drink all you will. Okay? This is not that kind of event. I believe, you pay to drink, and if you have more than one, you pay for 2, and you have 3, you pay for 3, right? We did have an event where people paid a fixed amount, and I'm certain there were a handful of people who probably said, I'm going to darn sure get my money's worth. But
I think the point that Ms. Fox raises, you all have a policy that you're already operating under in terms of approval of these types of applications. And it does allow for alcoholic beverages. So I think what you need to do is look at this application in the context of that policy, which it meets it. And then, to your point, Ms. Fox, discuss the policy. And if it's time to amend or change that policy, then that will govern, future events and whether or not applications are approved by this body.
Well, I'm very satisfied with our discussion, but that's why I brought it up, because I felt it was time for us to have a discussion. I don't go to this on Friday night. I used to stay open as a business owner, and I chose not to do that anymore. There is, whether we want to admit it or not, negative behavior. There is over-drinking. That may be a few, it may be many, but to go to something where alcohol, you can buy it until 12:30 at night, leaves a big question mark in my mind. But if we've had this discussion, I'm satisfied.
Well, I think that the discussion was good and it needed to be brought up, and I appreciate that. I think we, like you said, some of these events, I'm sure, have already been booked. And, but I think, prior to next year, we look at this and, see about maybe, addressing the policy at that time.
And I would perhaps a recap after the last one, or say sometime in August, have a recap of cost of service, the disturbances and issues.
Also maybe previous years too.
In comparison to see what kind of issues we have for this year.
I'm gonna go on record as saying, me personally, and this may be way off base here, for me personally, it doesn't matter to me if they go an event and don't have any disturbances. The fact that we're involved in it and that we give it the okay, I think sends the wrong message. Now, again, I want to reiterate this. I don't think, I wouldn't do anything tonight to mess this up because they've already planned it I think that's okay for tonight and for future events that are already planned. I definitely agree that it sends the wrong image and that we need to reconsider this for a later date when it comes to us approving events downtown for alcohol.
Move approval on item E.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion